financial problems, elder law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by Thav Gross. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to Law and Reality. Today's episode is Facing Foreclosure and the Tax Man. Pat Simasko, good to see you again.
Thanks for having me.
Jeffrey Kirshner.
Nice as always, thanks.
Brian Small.
A pleasure,
Wonderful
Ken.
to be here with you again today.
Indeed it is.
As is every day of my life.
Absolutely.
Excluding the weekends.
Absolutely.
And I love the weekends. Anyway, Facing Foreclosure and the Tax Man. There was a recent article I saw on MSN.com. Americans have now reached a record $12.7 trillion in debt. Think of it kind of surprising. You hear all these numbers, the economy's doing well. Employment is high. You can feel it in the Metro Detroit area because if everywhere there's jobs posted for, looking for work, and if you're running a business and you're trying to hire someone, you will experience difficulty in hiring people.
Good ones.
But here we've reached the debt level exceeded where it was in 2007 before the financial crisis.
Because history does repeat itself.
And the savings is lowest as ever. People are not saving and their debt's going up.
Yeah,
that's the big thing.
The lessons that were learned and that people were achieving goals of having savings in the bank in 2011, 2012 are gone. Everybody's back to...
I don't know, or gone, or they're wandering, or they're going fast. I mean, if you're looking at the article and thinking about it, and one of the things that we talk a lot about in the show is wage growth has not caught up with where it was. People are earning less wages today than they were 20 years ago, adjusted for inflation, significantly less. So even though they're working now, they don't have the excess income to buy the things that they want, and then go beyond that they actually need.
But now
so how do they finance them? They finance them with debt, and the banks are more than willing to make that credit available right now.
And now there's a false sense of security now because we had 2008, we crashed, we've somehow come back, and we feel like we're better than we were before.
But I'll tell you something.
And that's the false sense of security. Everyone's saying, okay, I got through last time, I definitely can get through it this time, I can borrow again, my money will come back,
People
I can make
have
more.
Short memories.
Yes,
Very
they do.
Short
They do.
memories.
But, the murmurings
They're
behind...
short-sighted in terms of future planning, and
Oh,
they have
man.
short memories going backwards.
The murmurings in the stock market and the things that you read about what's going on, they're all freaking out right now about what the Fed's going to do, and that they all see that there's a calamity coming. They just don't know when it is going
If
to
you
hit.
look at the Schiller Index, it is through the roof right now, which is a determination of how overpriced the market is. And it's higher now than it was back in 2000.
Major correction is, we're due for a major correction.
Yeah, the Schiller Index is how Dr. Schiller determined that we're in a bubble, essentially. And now the Schiller Index for the market, they're saying is as high now, is even higher now than it was before. So it's
That's kind of frightening.
Yeah,
think about automotive. The automotive sales are definitely taking a hit.
they're planning.
And there's major inventory. In fact, they're saying there's going to be a lot of good deals on automotive, on buying a car September, October, November at their year ends because the inventories are high. Those inventories are high. I think, where does that leave us in Michigan?
Yeah.
If the auto industry takes the hit, we always go down quickly.
First.
And that's the reality. So, but why is the debt going up? To me, the debt's going up because the banks are making the credit available. But here's the problem. As soon as you start living on your available credit, which is where the country was in 2008, the last recession hit, the banks took away all the available credit, and it took them about 6 months to a year. How long do you think it's going to take them to slash everybody's available credit when the economy starts taking a spin the next time? It's going to take a spin. I don't have the crystal ball and tell you when, but what goes up always comes down. how long, Brian, do you think it'll take the banks to all of a sudden send out those letters saying, Mr. Small, thank you for making your payments. You're a great customer, although you haven't charged anything in 11 years. But all the rest of the Mr. Smalls, thank you for doing that. We're trimming your available credit to $2 more than you currently owe us because we're worried about your debt portfolio.
That's going to happen within 90 days of a determination that we're in a recession.
I think it's going to
I'm going to bet lower than that.
It's going to blow your mind. How I think it's already programmed into their systems so that when metrics hit, those letters get generated automatically. Whereas before, it was a novel thing. And that's going to have a big impact for a lot of people. So taking that as the backdrop, I thought we'd use an example. And this is going to be Jim and Mary. They're facing foreclosure and they've got a tax problem. Let me give you their facts and then we'll take a break and then we're going to come back and we're going to analyze it. They're 3 months behind on their mortgage. They owe $50,000 of credit card debt. They owe income taxes of $50,000 from 2012 and 2013. They're a family of 4. They make $85,000 a year in income. Their house is worth $140,000. Their mortgage is $135,000. They were underwater back at the financial crisis stage, but it's come up and now there's $5,000 of equity. They have $5,000 of cash in the bank. IRS has filed a lien against their home. First question, is this uncommon?
No, this is not only common, this is normal.
It's normal, and it's serious, but I don't know that you and I would call it severe because it's so common.
I'm telling you, this is an ordinary situation.
But it's not severe because it's not you. For them, this is severe.
It is severe. It's
That's
the
a very
most
good
catastrophic event these people are going through.
And
but
it's
the
severe
reality
if they don't
is,
do something about it.
The reality is, it is an ordinary financial situation for a family of 4 struggling along today.
Here's the first framework. They're 3 months behind on their house, so they're facing foreclosure. So I think, Jeff, you made a very good point. They're almost in Panicville. Mary doesn't want to lose her house. She's stressed out to the max. She's blaming. This is reality. She's blaming Jim. Jim's all stressed out, and now they've come in to meet with us, and we're going to take a break. And when we get back, we're going to figure out how to solve Jim and Mary's problem.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Thav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Thav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
A lifetime of hard work. If you don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your savings, and more. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Samasco Law wants you to know that laws are changing. Today, the average cost of nursing home care is $85,000 a year. With proper planning, we can help protect your life savings and get you the Medicaid nursing home benefits you deserve.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Samasco Law today.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Thav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP.
All right, so Jim and Mary have got a problem. 3 months behind their mortgage, $50,000 credit card debt, $50,000 in taxes. They got income. What do they do, guys?
They file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy.
Okay, so they file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. It wipes out the taxes, wipes out the
Credit cards.
They get to keep their house. What about the 3 months behind? What are you talking
Okay,
about?
so-
How does a Chapter 7 save
So
their
let's-
home?
let's start-
I know something about bankruptcy here.
So let's start off
Apparently you don't.
Well, we'll see.
So a Chapter 13 bankruptcy takes time. A Chapter 7 is an instant vehicle of getting rid of debt. So let's do what we can do first. They're not in the foreclosure zone yet. They're facing foreclosure. They're 3 months behind. As long as
Hasn't gone to sale.
As long as Jim and Mary can maintain being 3 months behind, not 4 months behind, the lender can't start a foreclosure.
Under Reg X.
Under Reg X.
Correct.
So, since they can't start a foreclosure, if we file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, eliminate the credit cards, and eliminate all the tax debt that can be eliminated,
Can you get rid of all the tax debt?
we cannot, because...
Wait. I was watching Law and Reality, and Brian and Jenny were there, and you had this 3-2...
3 years, 2
rule.
years, 240 days.
And
right.
you said that if it was income taxes, you could eliminate all the tax
So
debt.
for Jim
Are you
and-
telling me that there was a flaw in that show?
No, there's no flaw. It's absolutely 100% correct. Jim and Mary will eliminate their personal responsibility to pay the income taxes. However, the IRS has already liened their assets. Their assets...
What is
that-
the lien attached to?
The lien attaches to their socks, their underwear, the equity in their home, their car, anything that they own. Excuse me, not their car.
So give them the socks and the
Their
underwear
furniture.
and keep the
You
keep
could.
the rest.
You could. That's one argument. But the reality is that in the fact scenario we have here, Jim and Mary have $5,000 worth of assets, and $5,000.
What are the $5,000 in assets? Good. The cash.
$5,000 cash.
There's 5 equity in the house.
There was 5 equity in the house, and then Jim and Mary have furniture. So let's just assume everything adds up to about $15,000.
Okay.
You can't have a lien on cash. You
All
have
right,
to have.
so now we're down to 10.
You have to have possession of cash to have the lien. Now,
Do you have any cash? Because I'd like to lien it.
yeah. So what'll happen is after we've eliminated the personal responsibility to pay the underlying tax debt, to the extent that they have assets, so $10,000, $5,000 equity in the home, and $5,000 worth of equity in their
Personal
furniture
property.
and personal property, then that IRS lien remains. So now, by filing
what's
the Chapter
the consequence of that? What is it? The fact that the lien remains, can they then do something with it?
the IRS could arguably figure out a way
Or if
to...
they sold the house,
Or
they'd
if they
get
sold the furniture, they sold
they'd get their $10,000.
Yes, they get at least 5 of it. But the thing is by filing the Chapter 7 first, quite often what the IRS does in that type of situation is they will release the lien because it's inconsequential to them. So no reason to look to a Chapter 13 yet.
All right, so we file the 7, and if they release the lien,
Then all we have to do is work on whether
the
or
house.
not Jim and Mary should A, seek a loan modification to bring themselves current on their mortgage, or should they file a Chapter 13 after the Chapter 7 just to deal with the arrearages
How long
on
does
the
the
house?
Chapter 13 last for?
Well, it depends on whether you're above or below the median income. In a household that's below the median income of Chapter 13 will last from between 3 and 5 years.
So
And,
there,
and if you're above the median income, it must go at least 5 years unless you repay your creditors 100 cents on the dollar.
so then this is going to last for arguably 5 years, and Jim's dad is on his deathbed, and Jim's going to inherit a $300,000 IRA.
Well, that's an interesting issue. So Jim might inherit assets. So what has to be paid? If we've done the Chapter 7 and Jim really owes nothing other than the arrearages on the house and a small tax lien of $10,000, inheriting the $300,000 is actually going to solve Jim's problem. He's going to write a check.
Wait, but Jim has to make sure he doesn't inherit it for at least 6 months after.
That's correct. So
you need
his parents.
So
a
that's what we're
healthcare
need.
durable power of attorney
Yeah.
that keeps him alive.
No,
That's one.
No,
Or
you need
rather than
proper
lets him go.
estate planning.
Then that's where I'm
where
getting to. You have to look at that part of
a
it too.
spendthrift trust,
Right.
with Jim as the beneficiary of a spendthrift trust with discretionary powers to the trustee is going to be more appropriate solution. But getting Jim's dad to amend his estate plan could be a difficult thing. That is one thing that we do look at when we're looking at clients who have elderly parents. Should we be acting, and what are the risks and rewards of getting rid of the bankruptcy, doing the bankruptcy?
I think you're raising a very
Right.
critical point there, Pat, is that whenever we have a client in and we're talking about bankruptcy, one of the questions right in the first meeting is, are you about to inherit any assets? And if you are, that's a critical factor that must be carefully planned in the context of
That
a
was the
bankruptcy.
case that
'Cause
we
what-
had about a month ago. That nice niece had an $80,000 debt in bankruptcy, and then she inherited a $120,000 IRA from her aunt. And that's something that I think that's
Oh,
going to
it's
And then
going to be
there
a
was
big
all- there
issue
was that
because
whole
you have
body
the
of law that
inherited IRA issue
is
where
not it
it's
doesn't
not a,
have IRA standing
Yeah.
as to the debtor, right?
That's right. So now,
That's where the
so
trust
here's where
comes
we're
in.
looking at, but let's change the facts just slightly. Jim is 5 months behind on his house.
So he's in a critical stage for
Jim just got
foreclosure.
the letter that says you're being foreclosed. They posted on his door.
As you give us this scenario, keep in mind that in 45 seconds we're going to take a
I
break.
understand. So now we have to start. We can't look at Chapter 7. We're in a critical timing stage.
How long is the foreclosure period?
Well, 4.5 weeks till they
But
go
you
to sale.
must file before the sale.
So when you look at the situation, and now Jim is 5 months behind, and they have posted and are going to foreclosure sale, now the Chapter 7 possibility has to be eliminated unless Jim can write a check and reinstate his mortgage.
That
So-
can't happen.
Well, it's not going to happen.
Unless
most
he
likely.
borrows against Dad's IRA.
Well, there's a possibility of borrowing from the bank
Dad.
of
Dad's
Dad.
still alive and he's
Yeah.
not going to go
Right, so
for
it's
that.
not his possession.
So
he
if
can't
we
borrow against
can't
it.
borrow from the bank of Dad and we can't utilize a magic money solution, when we come back from the break, we're going to address how Jim and Mary will get out of this problem.
Sounds like a plan.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
Worth Ave Gross, our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Thav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Thav Gross today, 888-235-HELP.
A lifetime of hard work. If you're approaching retirement and don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your investments, and your savings. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Putting a solid strategy in place with Samasco Law legally protects your assets as well as your wishes. Since a will doesn't cover you medically or financially, Samasco Law goes beyond ordinary asset management protection to safeguard everything you have.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Samasco Law today.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Thav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Thav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Thav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Worth Ave Gross, our firm will solve your problem.
It's time for announcements. Want to remind our viewers to listen to us Tuesdays 11:30 a.m. and Saturdays at 7 a.m. for Law and Reality Live on Praise 102 FM. Thursdays from 3 to 4 for Law and Reality Now on 9:10 a.m. with Cliff Russell. Also, be sure and sign up for our monthly contest. Free $50 Visa gift card, Law and Reality hat and copy of my book, Dump Your Debt, just go to our websites, thavgross.com or lawandreality.com, and sign up. We've got seminars coming up. On Wednesday, September 13th from 6 to 7:30 p.m., it's time for the debt to fall. We're going to talk about all the methods we use to preserve future income for you and your savings. We're going to talk about debt. Jeffrey Kirshner is also going to participate and give us a rundown on disability and how that relates to debt elimination. Attendees get a free copy of my book, Dump Your Debt, all the systems we use to eliminate debt, solutions using bankruptcy, solutions outside of bankruptcy. Sign up at lawandreality.com or thavgross.com or call 888-235-HELP. Then on Wednesday, September 27th, 6 o'clock p.m., planning for you, mom, and dad before the problems come. We're going to focus on the nursing home problem. Pat Simasko from Simasko Law is going to address Medicaid issues and using veterans benefits, aid and attendance benefits to cover and supplement the costs so that the nursing home costs doesn't bury you. Nursing homes run $9,000 to $12,000 a month, average stay 32 months. If you don't plan, it's going to wipe out all available financial resources. I'm going to also participate talking about basic estate planning essentials for the 50 and 60-year-old. Brian's going to talk about debt issues for the elderly. Seminar is free. Sign up at lawandreality.com or thavgross.com or call 888-235-HELP. Want to remind our viewers you're always eligible for a free consultation, whether it's on Medicaid or elder law issues with Pat Simasko, disability issues, or workers' comp issues with Jeffrey Kirshner, financial or business issues with Brian or myself, estate planning with Brian. Just call our offices at 888-235-HELP or go on either of the websites, lawandreality.com or thavgross.com, and you can just click on the link and we'll schedule a free consultation for you. We'll be back.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirshner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Thav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Thav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
All right, so we're back to Jim and Mary. So you're putting them into a 13.
So they're facing a foreclosure, and what's the 13 going to accomplish? The 13 is going to allow Jim and Mary to catch up their 5-month arrears or more on their house over a period of time, anywhere from 3 to 5 years. That gives them breathing room.
So get rid of the tax lien too?
It doesn't get rid of the tax lien unless you pay for it in the tax. You have to set up the Chapter 13 to pay the tax lien. In this situation, their taxes are old enough that we would pay their $10,000 tax lien, again, over a 5-year period of time. The other $40,000 worth of tax debt, plus the other $50,000 worth of credit card debt, would be deemed to be unsecured debt. And because it's unsecured debt, it's going to get paid as little as 0 cents on the dollar.
And at the end, it's gone.
And at the end, it's gone.
So at the end of the 5 years, they're done with the taxes that way.
They are completely done. And unlike an offer and compromise, if they happen to screw up down the road and they have a liability, it doesn't mess it up.
We talk about offer and compromise a lot, and it's not a tax show, and Jenny's not here, but we had one it's in our office this week. and you get an offer in compromise approved, you have to stay clean 5 years. We had a client that we had a great offer accepted. The client had a tax refund coming in a subsequent year, and his accountant failed to file the extension on his return. So then when the return got filed, it was late. He owed no tax on that return. They revoked his
Oh my
offer in
God.
compromise. We're trying to take it up onto an appeal, but the problem is there's really no avenue to reverse the revocation of an offer in
You
compromise.
gotta
It's a
do
big
it
problem. We're going to find a
right.
way. In normal circumstances, I'd write to the president, but I don't know that that will work in this particular case.
You just tweet them.
That, one of the things that when you go through this whole scenario, like good instances of the estate planning issue for mom and dad, and then the other thing that I was thinking about while Brian was talking is this can be so stressful. Do you see cases, Jeff, where Mary and Jim are so depressed and stressed over the situation that they go from being able to work to not being able to work, and then it becomes a disability case?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a lot of cases that are just pure psychological cases, and then you're getting distressed, raising high blood pressure, where then you're talking about heart issues. So yeah, all the time I get those type of claims, purely psych or heart issues, blood pressure issues that really are debilitating that people don't appreciate. And other things that people don't appreciate is that you've got to file sooner rather than later because of timing-wise,
To get
getting back benefits, number one, and number two, you file, then you go see Brian, because if you can file with Brian first and then you get your money afterwards, if you're successful in your claim, Brian's able to protect any back benefits that are owed to you.
So when you look at it, is when we said at the beginning of the show, we see it all the time, but it is stressful. But imagine if the stress level goes to the point where Jim and Mary can't work, then the problem becomes bigger from a financial problem. If you don't have the $85,000 a year of income coming in, then all of a sudden you go from $7,000 of income to, even on a disability claim, it's going to take 18, 24 months, and then you're going to have maybe $2,500 worth of income. So addressing the problem quickly so that you don't get to the depressed state where you can't work is critically important. We got about a minute and a half. Can I change the facts one way, Brian?
Of course
and
you
see
can.
if you can address it. Suppose instead of $5,000 of equity in the home, there was zero equity in the home. The first mortgage was greater than the second mortgage, and they had the first mortgage balance was greater than the value of the home, and they had a second mortgage of $30,000.
Well,
you got 1 minute.
So now I'm going to look at Chapter 13. I'm either going to do a Chapter 7 first, regardless, and then I'm going to look at Chapter 13. We call that a Chapter 20.
What's the 13? What happens with the second mortgage? Because you got 30 seconds.
You get to lien strip the second mortgage in the Chapter 13.
What does that mean? I
You
hear
can-
you talk about it all the time.
You can remove the second mortgage through an adversarial complaint, a lawsuit against the lender, treat it as a general unsecured debt, and have it be paid as little as 0 cents on the dollar. And successfully completing the Chapter 13 removes that mortgage completely.
So, yeah, that's what I was looking for. In simple terms, in that case, you completely get rid of the second mortgage through the process. So now, when you come out of the Chapter 13,
You're
you
debt
have
free,
a chance of having
except
equity.
for your mortgage.
That's a wrap. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality. Thanks for watching.